You've probably met someone who just seems good with money, not necessarily rich, not necessarily smarter than you. They don't budget every cent, they don't tense up when the check arrives. Money just seems to sit easier in their hands. And here's the strange part. When researchers actually study these people, the thing that sets them apart isn't income or IQ or some rare talent for math. It's a handful of quiet programs running in the background of their mind, different mental defaults, and once you can see those programs, you can install them too. So today, we're going inside the mind of people who are genuinely good with money. 6 mental programs that change everything. Number 4 is the one almost nobody talks about, and it might be the most important. Let's start with the one everything else is built on. People who are good with money think in a different unit of time. Most of us feel today in sharp, high definition, and the future in blurry gray. The psychologist Hal Hershfield scanned people's brains while they thought about their future selves. And for many of us, the brain reacts as if that future person is a total stranger. A stranger we feel no loyalty to. So of course we hand them the bill. We spend now and let future me figure it out later. People who are good with money have quietly closed that gap. When they picture themselves in 10 or 20 years, the brain treats that person as real, as someone they actually care about. So saving stops feeling like punishment. It starts feeling like sending money to someone you love. That's the foundation. Everything else we cover today is just a different way of protecting that future person. If that reframe alone was useful, do me a quick favor and hit subscribe. This whole channel is about the hidden wiring behind your money, one piece a week. Okay, program 2. Here's something people who are good with money almost never say: I can't afford it. Not because they're rich, but because they've changed what money is for. For most brains, spending feels like winning and saving feels like losing. We're wired to hate a loss about twice as much as we like the same size gain. So moving money into savings can genuinely sting, like the money's just gone. People who are good with money have flipped that switch. To them, money saved isn't money lost. It's options. It's freedom. It's the power to say no to a job they hate, to walk away from a bad deal, to sleep at night. Every dollar saved isn't a dollar they missed out on. It's a dollar of choices they get to keep. Same action, completely different feeling. And feelings are what actually drive behavior. When saving feels like buying freedom, you don't need discipline. You want to do it. Program 3 is about a trick your own brain plays on you every single day. Deep inside your head, there are 2 separate systems, one for wanting and one for liking. They feel identical, but they're not. Dopamine, the chemical everyone blames for pleasure, is mostly about wanting, the craving, the pull toward the buy button. The actual liking, the enjoyment once you own the thing, is a much quieter, much shorter signal, which means your brain can make you desperately want something you'll barely enjoy. That's the entire engine of impulse spending. People who are good with money have learned to feel the difference. When that hot spike of wanting hits, they pause and ask one question: will I actually like this? Or do I just want it right now? That half-second gap is where most bad purchases quietly die. They're not more disciplined than you. They've just stopped mistaking the craving for the reward. Now, program 4, the one I said almost nobody talks about. Everyone assumes people who are good with money have iron willpower. They don't. They've figured out something better. Willpower is a terrible long-term strategy. It runs out, it cracks under stress, exactly when money decisions matter most. So instead of relying on it, they build systems. They automate. The money moves to savings the day the paycheck lands, before they can feel it or spend it. The good decision happens on autopilot forever. Behavioral scientists call this choice architecture, and it's the single biggest lever most people ignore. Because here's the truth: you will not out-discipline a system every day for 30 years. Nobody can. But you only have to set the system up once. People who are good with money didn't wake up more motivated than you. They designed a life where the lazy option and the smart option are the same option. Make the right thing automatic, and you never have to feel motivated again. I've put the core of these programs into a free, one-page Money Brain cheat sheet. If you want it, the link is waiting in the description. Program 5. Every one of us picked up a story about money before we were old enough to question it. The financial psychologist Brad Klontz calls these money scripts, beliefs absorbed from your family, usually before you turned 15, running silently ever since. Some people learned money is dirty, that wanting it makes you a bad person. Some learned there's never enough, so grab what you can now. Some learn money equals worth, that what you own is who you are. Each of those scripts sabotages you in a different way. People who are good with money aren't running a fancier script. They're running a healthier one. And more importantly, they know they have one. That's the real move. They can hear the old voice: you don't deserve this. Spend it before it's gone. You are what you drive. And recognize it as an inherited program, not a fact. Once you can name your script, you stop obeying it automatically. So ask yourself, honestly, What did your family teach you money was? Because you're probably still following that lesson without realizing it. Which brings us to the last program, the one that separates people who build wealth from people who blow it up. Markets, big purchases, other people getting rich fast. They all pull on two ancient emotions, fear and greed. Fear says sell everything, hide, the sky is falling. Greed says everyone's winning but you, get in now. Don't miss out. Both feel like urgent information. Both are usually wrong. The average person feels one of those emotions and acts on it instantly, buying at the top out of greed, selling at the bottom out of fear, doing the exact opposite of what works. People who are good with money feel those same emotions. They're human, but they've put a gap between the feeling and the action. They've learned that the more urgent a money decision feels, the more likely it's the emotion talking, not them, so they slow down precisely when everyone else speeds up. Calm, when calm is rare, is one of the most profitable skills there is. So, 6 programs. Thinking in decades, seeing savings as freedom, splitting wanting from liking, building systems instead of leaning on willpower, knowing your money script, and staying calm when fear and greed start to scream. Notice what none of these were about. Income, being a genius, being born into money. They're brain habits. Defaults you can install one at a time, starting this week. Being good with money was never really a math problem. It's a psychology problem, and that means it's learnable by you, starting now. If you want to go deeper on how your mind handles money, I've put every episode into one playlist right here. It's basically a free course on the psychology of your own money brain. I'll see you in the next one.